Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to a very special episode of Dice Versa. We're doing a Halloween special with some friends. I am Tony. Normally I play Mishka Silverfur on the show. I'm giving Nick a break and letting him play for once. So I'm going to be running this special Halloween one-shot that I really wanted to do. We're not playing Starfinder. We're playing a homemade system that I created. It uses D20 dice primarily, and like 1d6, but it's roll 20, so they're all fake anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, you should post a link to the rules in the episode description or something.
If people aren't interested, I'll make a PDF or something and release these rules. They're good for a one-shot, not necessarily good for long-term games, as I don't really have any progression rules. But we'll get into that later. Thank you very much for all of your guys' support for our show. We thought we would do this as a kind of a fun Halloween treat for ourselves and for our viewers. But yeah, so again, I'm here with the Dice Versa crew. I'm Tony. You can catch me on Twitter at McAwesome. That's MCAWESUM. Yeah, I'm here with, let's go with Nick.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nick, your GM for most of Dice Versa, and today I'm playing... Are we doing character introductions right now, or...?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm Nick. You guys know who I am.
And Chris.
Chris, you normally play Nevessa, and today I will be playing someone different, but not too different from Nevessa.
Yeah, and then we also got, of course, our resident big dragon boy, Eric.
Hello, I'm Eric. Not a big dragon boy today, something quite different, but I'm excited.
Yeah, and with us today we have two special guests, our friends from over at Southern Tomfoolery. We have Heath and John. How are you guys doing?
Hey!
Doing great.
Awesome. Tell us about yourselves, boys. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm Heath, here with my friend John. We're both from the Southern Tomfoolery network. You can check us out at southerntomfoolery.com. We have our main show, the APA, or Apollo Protection Agency, that's been going for, we're working on 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah. And that one's a lot of fun. And we have a relatively new show, Live and Let Fly.
Yeah, using the Fly for Your Die adventure path.
Right, yeah, which is super fun. And then we have a few other shows. I host a show called Tom Talks, where we, talk with the cast members and kind of behind the scenes fun. We recently started a new Twitch game with a few friends called STF and Friends. We've got Ann Hearthsinger Richmond that you may be familiar with on there. We have Tyler, from the GM of the Min-Max podcast, on there with us. And currently, me, Emily, and Adam from Southern Tomfoolery. And that'll be a show that we do like shorter modules and stuff, and then we'll rotate out different guests and cast members as new modules get brought up. So you can check out Southern Tomfoolery's Twitch for that.
Nice.
And also follow us on Twitter, just look up Southern Tomfoolery, and you can find our stuff anywhere you can listen to podcasts.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out Southern Tomfoolery, you guys should do it, because they do a really great job.
Yeah.
They actually ran the Against the Aeon Throne adventure path previously. I think it was your guys' first one, right?
That's right.
So for our main show, I don't know that I've heard of anyone else who's done it quite like we have. We're doing three book adventure paths using Starfinder. So we did the 3-book AP Against the Aeon Throne, and we finished that up, and we took the same characters and moved into the Signal of Screams adventure path, which we are currently in. And then
Devastation arc.
We'll go into Devastation arc when the characters that live through this one, I guess.
Right.
we'll keep going to the Devastation arc. Yeah.
I think we're planning on doing the same thing with Dice Versa, but
awesome.
That's a long way out for us. Yeah, but yeah. So if you're watching this and you haven't checked out Southern Tomfoolery, go check out their stuff, because they do a great job.
Yeah, they're delightful. I'm a little behind because I've been doing a lot of work, but I've been listening to pretty much all of your guys' shows, and they're fantastic.
Well, thank you.
And I know I'm good friends with Adams, I think, at this point, and he and I chat every once in a while. And
That's right.
yeah, I might be on your STF and friends in future games. We'll see.
Hey,
Who
we'd
knows?
love to have you. You know, I think it was fun. I believe me and Tony and did one of the other guys of you play when we had our STF Con 9?
Your STF Con, yeah. Nick, Chris, and I all played in your games. I think Chris was in one of yours, your Monster Hunter one.
Yeah, the late night drunken Monster Hunter game. It
Yeah.
went till like 5 in the morning.
I gotta live my space goblin dreams that Nick will never allow me to have.
Hey, never say never. Just not right now.
That's the crew for this game tonight. And let me tell you a little bit about this game. So I wanted to do a fun horror one-shot for a while. Some of my inspirations for this were things like The Thing, the Aliens movies, Life, a movie that came out in 2019 with like Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and a bunch of other fun folk. But yeah, I'm using this made-up system. Character creation is pretty simple. The rules are fairly general enough where you can play in any setting, but we're doing this space horror thing, so basically just told everyone to pick a role on the ship, you know, whether it be captain, pilot, or whatever, and then everyone gets to pick 6 skills. 3 of those skills are relating to their job, and the other 3 are hobby skills. And then once they've picked their 6 skills, they can choose 3 of them to have a +6, and the rest will have a +3. So whenever I ask them to make a skill roll of any kind, they will roll a d20 and add any relevant skills if they apply to the roll or not. And that's pretty much it for the main play. There will be some rules on like healing and stuff like that I will divulge later when they come up. But for now, that's pretty much it for character creation. There aren't any other special abilities. Most of the things are going to be context sensitive. There are rules for taking damage, but there isn't necessarily health. Basically, each limb, torso, right arm, left arm, right leg, left leg, and head can all take damage. They can either be lightly injured, heavily injured, or mangled. And you'll get negatives if you make any skill rolls using those limbs that will accrue based on how damaged they are. If your torso and head get damaged to the point of being mangled, then you die. So try not to get to that point. Like I said, if people are interested, I can post the rules later. But for now, let's jump in. The year is 5021. Humanity has made many advancements in the past 3,000 years. Chief among those advancements was the discovery of interstellar travel. The creation of light gates has allowed travel to distant stars in mere days and weeks instead of thousands of years. With this discovery, humans have spread across several solar systems and continue to expand to this day. The reach of the human race grows further every day that passes. Most modern life exists on space stations and terraformed colonies out past, our initial solar system. And they thrive on few habitable planets. These new planets are often devoid of life. The existence of extraterrestrial life is a topic that is still debated to this day. Rumors have been spreading on social media about miners discovering an organic life form on the mining planet TTM5D. This discovery has been all the talk lately on many social media sites, but many still don't know if this is true or not. Supposedly, the miners have found the specimen buried in ice in the southern Arctic zone and have offered it up to whomever can pay the highest price for it. Some online sources say that several scientific research companies have been competing to acquire the specimen to study and learn about this new life form. Our story tonight takes place on a ship known as the Roustabout. The crew of the ship answered a job request from SciTech, a well-funded research company, to pick up some employees and cargo to transport on their behalf discreetly and for a price that was too good to refuse. The crew agreed to take this job and are going to pick up a few other fares on the same route. Currently, the Roustabout has landed on TTM5D near a mining facility owned by Expansive Mining Company. The weather is freezing and temperatures are very cold as they land on an open landing pad. The vista is barren, except for the mining facility and several dig sites marked by light beacons in the distance. Captain Isabel Irons messages the passengers and waits for them to arrive with their cargo. Once they do arrive, the Roustabout's crew help the passengers board and store their belongings in the appropriate cargo rooms. It is currently about midday in standard galactic time, but about 3 a.m. on TTM5D. As the belongings are stored away, the two scientists, Dr. Valerie Zhang and Dr. Kenneth Betters, ask that their items be stored in the starboard cargo bay and that they remain isolated and undisturbed by other passengers, as requested by SciTech. The crew stows their items in the starboard cargo and everyone else's items either on their person or in the port cargo area. After helping the doctors with the last bit of their cargo, a metal container sealed and labeled with a biohazard symbol. The crew and passengers gather in the fuel core room for brief introductions. So now, let's meet the crew. First, we have Captain Isabel Irons. So Chris, tell me, who is your character and what is their role on the ship?
Well, Captain Isabel Irons is the captain of the Roustabout, former Terran Alliance officer, had since been honorably discharged and is now just kind of living the civilian lifestyle, running our own private cargo business. Yeah, so she's about somewhere in her mid 30s, very just kind of like no nonsense. Her blonde hair is kind of like pulled back neatly into a tight bun in the back of her head. She dresses very like plainly but cleanly, still kind of like a little bit of old habits from her officer life. Just pressed button down shirts, simple clothes, and usually patting around her heels is her cat, First Officer Sylvia, who is the mouser on the ship. So any unwanted pests she deals with. So captain and first officer.
I believe you mispronounced first officer, sir.
You mean? Oh, should it be a first office per?
Oh, first
there we go.
Office. Oh God.
Whichever one is easiest to say.
None of them.
And what are Captain Iron's skills and hobbies?
More just kind of like about the job. She's a bit more of a face than anything else. So a lot of her skills are persuasion, being able to talk to people, piloting the ship, as well as just kind of like making sure she's knowledgeable about her own ship and the tech. But hobby wise, she's done a little bit of combat training. So at least can do some like hand-to-hand close combat, as well as kind of like leaning into the face side of things. She's very much kind of like likes giving inspirational speeches, as well as like trying to read other people. So she's got a little bit of being able to inspire others with her words, as well as just like insight to kind of get a good read on people, both physically and mentally.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Captain. All right, next we have Dmitry Petrov, the pilot. Who is your character, John? And what is? Well, I guess I kind of said it, huh? So what is their role on the ship? What is your character? But you can say it in your own words.
Yeah. So Dmitry Petrov is will be the pilot for this trip, and anyway, he has been on this ship for the duration of this whole endeavor, but before he joined the Roustabout, he actually spent some time shipping freight between worlds, and he had only heard of this job posting from a cousin who mentioned it, and so he tried out for it and he got the job. And he's looking to carry on the legacy that both his father and grandfather, who were also pilots. And he is a almost into his 40s, late 30s, Russian man. Well, actually, in this point, he is part of the TAG alliance, and he looks similar to Oscar Isaac, if you will. So I guess that would be my casting choice for him. His
good cast.
He's typically pretty good at piloting, as well as small arms, and also knows a bit of navigation. Some of the things that he takes interest in are UFO conspiracy theories. He also is very enthusiastic about tech, and he's also fancies himself kind of a off-hours life coach.
Perfect. Alrighty. Heath, tell us a little bit about your boy.
I will be playing Lincoln Gore. I think Lincoln would probably get along pretty well with old Titanium Mike from our main show. He is the security officer. All of his gear is very tactical. A lot of pouches and like, armor plates over his shoulders and knees, some combat boots. He has so many pouches to fit, I guess like knives and tools and stuff in.
His pockets have pockets.
His pockets have pockets for sure. But yeah, so he is the security officer, so he is concerned with everyone's safety on the ship, making sure there's no mutinies or, invasions or anything like that. He's here to protect you guys and all of our crew and cargo. So he has a sort of rifle. He's really good at with long arms, threat assessment, crisis intervention to sort of like de-escalate any conflicts that we have maybe verbally on the ship with crew. He's good with small arms or pistols. He's got pretty good reflexes, and in his spare time, he is a practitioner of Krav Maga.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So he also formerly worked for the Terran Alliance government for many years, where he and his husband, Kennedy Slaughter, kind of worked together. Quite often were posted together, but due to a skirmish with an independent planet that they were working on getting into the Terran Alliance government, there was a conflict, and tragically his husband, Kennedy Slaughter, was killed. And so he left the Terran Alliance government and went to seek his own way and threw himself into his work, really just as far from Earth and the central, star system as he could get. So I think he's a relatively new member of the crew, probably been here 4 or 5 months, something like that. Just a very kind of no-nonsense, get stuff done kind of character.
Thank you very much. Alrighty. And next we have Dr. Foley, played by Eric.
Hello there! So, yes, I will be playing Dr. Ranged, Dr. Foley Deranged. Dr. Range's history is he has worked with many scientific companies over the many years. By the way, I imagine he does look slightly like Christoph Waltz, minor difference. But yes, he has worked many years with many different companies. All of his jobs ending with either being let go or him leaving himself for reasons. But he finally decided that perhaps working freelance might provide the more open-minded, less boss over shoulder work place that he desires.
Sounds good.
Yes, and he has been here for a month, so he's pretty new with the crew.
All right. And then, last but not least, we have Nick. Tell us about your character.
Yeah, so before we started recording, I told you guys to call my character Kat, and then I realized that would make her name Kat Williams. So I'm going to go back on that and say you guys should call her Katrina.
I don't see a problem here.
She is not a little king. In fact, She is a woman. She's not a king at all. I guess she is a little queen, though. She's not that tall. So she is the mechanic on the ship. Her parents both were officers in the TAG Alliance, so in the Earth military, basically. And her father was a senior engineer, and her mother was a navigational officer. And because they were in the military, she sort of grew up traveling and didn't have a normal education. It was more like an apprenticeship under her father as an engineer. And because of that, she has really good engineering skills and tinkering skills. And because she didn't have a really traditional education, she got into listening to audiobooks a lot to sort of fill in the gaps in her knowledge. So she also has a really good listening skill. And then as far as her hobbies go, she's also good at robotics and like physics and rocket science, since she needs to know how the engine of a spaceship works. And she's also pretty good at sketching because she likes doodling and coming up with mechanical engineering designs and that sort of thing. So she's sort of a little stocky. She has dark skin, dark hair that's pulled up into a tight, like, short ponytail. And she's been on the ship. She got the job because her parents sort of pulled some strings and got her a job as a junior engineer. That was 4 years ago, and since then she's worked her way up and is now the main engineer on the Roustabout.
Perfect. All right, and there we have it. That's the crew. Alrighty. So, as you guys are finished packing up, Captain Irons has asked the passengers and the crew to all meet up in the engineering core. So here, everyone kind of, quietly just ushers their way in and kind of, spread out throughout the room. You can see that the sci-tech scientists and their bodyguards kind of take the top corner of the room, where like the civilian passengers take the bottom. If you guys want, I can run you guys through those characters real quick. So if you look on the bottom of the map, you can see the passengers. I'll go through those real fast. So first off, we have Dr. Kenneth Betters. He's a sci-tech scientist. He's here on a job. Him and his partner, Dr. Valerie Zhang, are working together. And they have a specimen that they had you guys store in their starboard cargo. This is Dr. Valerie Zhang. So the two of them are our team. But yeah, so they're here working with Sergeant Claude Jefferson. He is a mercenary. You guys actually picked him up on the way to planet TTM5D. Before reaching TTM5D, you guys hit through stopped at a space station to refuel and get supplies, and there you guys picked up these sci-tech security officers, Claude Jefferson and Minali Shah. You picked them up from there. Or no, wait, actually I fucked up. You guys picked them up at Ishimura Station, which is your ultimate destination. But on the way, stopping at Vita 19 space station, you guys picked up some passengers. So I'll get to those when we get to them. So my bad, I fucked up. But these two here are going to be protecting their cargo, taking shifts, protecting the starboard cargo, and preventing people from being a little too nosy. And then on TTM5D, you guys picked up Sergei Petrovich. He is retiring. So he is leaving the planet and hitching a ride with y'all, since you guys are picking up people from that mining facility anyway.
Just got 2 days left to retire.
2 days
left. Yep.
He'll
on
be
his last day.
fine.
Too old for this shit.
He's going back home to his husband, Ivan. And then we have Allison Reyes. So she was one of the passengers that you guys picked up on Vita 19, which was a space station in this solar system. So she's actually been on the ship with you guys for a little while, just kind of sitting quietly in the back of the ship on her bunk and looking at her phone. but she's like a business manager from what you guys can tell. But she's fairly quiet and keeps to herself mostly. And then you guys have Vex Knight. They were also picked up on Vita 19. They're an engineer that got a new job at Ishimura, so they're hitching a ride with you guys to there. And so to give you guys a refresher and the audience a recap as to what the mission is. So you guys were hired to pick up the scientist from the planet TTM5D, which is a mining planet at the very edge of currently explored space. You guys were hired by SciTech to pick up the scientists. You guys left Ishimura Space Station, or specifically Ishimura LG Space Station, which is a space station and Lightgate combined. And from there you reached Lightgate AP64, which took you guys 5 days to get to, which is in this system. Next to that was a space station Vita 19, where you stopped for supplies, and then from there made your way to TTM5D. And after your guys are done here, you're going back through the light gate and returning to Ishimura Station, which is your ultimate destination to drop everybody off at, and then move on to your next job from there. Now that the introductions are done and everyone's hopefully on the same page now, we'll return back to the center energy core room, which is the biggest room where you can fit everybody. And so you usher them in to kind of give them the lay of the land and lay down the laws. But yeah, so Captain, do you want to address the passengers?
Yeah, no worries. It's everybody will be gathered in the energy core room, and kind of like Isabel will pretty much just kind of be standing, like her arms kind of like tucked back in her behind her back almost, and just kind of like at attention, just kind of like waiting for everyone to kind of settle in. And once folks are all set up, she was like, hello everybody, and welcome to the Roustabout. I am Captain Isabel Irons, and me and my crew will be taking you to your destination. We're going to be traveling via Lightgate to the Ishimura LG space station. We should be arriving there in a couple of days. So feel free to make yourselves comfortable. Your quarters will be back in the aft docking bay. And if you have a need for medical services or the restroom, there's you can find those located near in the med bay, as well as we have
I would like to ask that you please just get your business done and hold it as long as you can, so I have as little interruption as possible. Thank you. So, apologies, Captain.
Thank you, Dr. Ranged. We also have a fully stocked kitchen, so if you need anything, just feel free to help yourselves there. Just remember to leave enough for everyone else. We did just stock up, so we should have enough refreshments to keep everyone safe, and we have regular meals 3 times a day. Aside from that, our friends at SciTech have asked everybody to steer clear of the starboard cargo bay. There will be security posted regularly over there to keep any onlookers away. So if just do everybody a favor and steer clear of that part of the ship.
Dr. Zhang does step up and says, yes, please, everyone. If you don't mind, we have some precious cargo that may contain some contaminants. So if you wouldn't mind, please staying away from that area. It would be better for everyone. We will be having Sergeant Jefferson and Sergeant Shaw with us, and they'll be taking shifts protecting that room and, dissuading any onlookers. So please, if you don't mind, keep to yourselves. And she steps back.
Yes, and if any of you have any security issues, or if you're feeling unsafe, feel free to contact our security officer, Mr. Gore, and she kind of like gestures over in Gore's direction.
Yeah, he waves a hand. He's like, yeah, hey everybody, I'm Lincoln Gore. If you have any concerns about your safety or any safety protocols on the ship, feel free to contact me for any, crisis intervention you may need. I'm here for all your safety.
Yes, and in case of a medical emergency, or if you're not feeling well, Dr. Range already made himself known, but you can find him in the med bay.
Yes, yes. Also, for those of you that do not know, if you have any cat allergies, please stop by the med bay and I can give you some Benadryl of sorts.
Yes, and you might have all seen the first office per wandering around. That's Sylvia. She's pretty friendly, but mostly just here as a mouser and just to keep everybody calm and happy. But if you do have any allergies, Dr. Ranged can get you set up with some antihistamines if needed.
And as you say that, the doors open up behind you as Officer Sylvia, almost on cue, comes in and starts rubbing up against Captain Iron's legs. You see Vex. I was like, oh, they're adorable. I love them.
And lastly, if there are any technical issues with the ship, feel free to contact our ship engineer, Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina pulls an earbud out of her ear, realizing that she's being referenced, and says, yeah, just please do your best not to touch anything. Thanks. And puts her earbud back in.
That policy, very good policy. Listen to Miss Williams. Yes, please, thank you.
All right, and that said, we hope that you all enjoy your trip. Once again, I am your captain, and this gentleman to my left here is Dmitry Petrov, your pilot.
Hello, my name is Dmitry Petrov, and I will be your pilot for this trip. We shouldn't expect any delays. Magnetic events seem to be on the low side, as well as all ionic storms. So the coordinates are laid in for Lightgate AP64, as the captain has mentioned, and we are en route to Ishimura Station.
Without any further ado, feel free to make yourselves at home. Are there before we adjourn? Are there any questions that any of you have? Any concerns you'd like to raise?
You see Vex just kind of raise their hand up. Is it true that this special cargo is the alien that the miners found? And then just as soon as they say that, you see Dr. Betters. He kind of perks up a little, you see his eyes almost kind of light up, and he's about to speak, and Dr. Zhang just kind of cuts him off. He's like, don't worry about it, those are just rumors, we're here on other business. Right, Dr. Betters? And he just kind of straightens up, yes. And Vex looks amused, but just kind of, you see them immediately pull out their phone and start typing.
I'm sorry, we've signed an NDA with SciTech and are not at liberty to discuss the contents of which we're carrying. But as Dr. Zhang pointed out, it is merely just a coincidence that we're traveling with this confidential cargo.
Dimitri's shoulders slump a little bit after hearing that.
And then as soon as you finish saying that, Sergei speaks up yes, that's the alien. I saw them bring it in. I was one of the guys that found it. And you see you see Dr. Jean basically facepalm, and Betters just kind of smiles and looks around excitedly to see everyone's reactions.
Foley would put a hand up and be like, now, we know these are all rumors and speculations, social media doing what it does best of blowing things up and yada, yada, yada. So on that note, and he turns to the other doctors, hello, Dr. Range, as I have said and such, if you need any assistance with these rumors in the cargo bay, I am more than happy to lend my expertise and knowledge, just in case. And he has this big old smile on,
Dr. Zhang just recovers from face palming super hard and looks up and just says, I assure you that the specimen is properly and securely packed and sealed. There shouldn't be any issues if anything goes according to plan. I've triple checked it myself along with Dr. Betters, and we made sure that the starboard cargo room is secured. Even the vents have been closed through that room, so nothing should be able to get in or out. So please stay out of there, regardless of what you may think is or isn't in there.
And by specimen, we mean rumors and speculation, of course. There is no confirmed nothing at all.
And Lincoln kind of pipes up and says, well, whatever the rumors and speculation may be, just keep in mind, we've got SciTech security as well as me in charge of security here, so don't get any bright ideas. If you're found somewhere that you're not supposed to be trying to investigate the off-limits cargo areas, you will be subdued for the rest of the trip.
Yes, leave the bright ideas to the doctors. And he kind of gives like a wink towards Betters, like, we're smart.
But in response to Lincoln, you see Sergeant Jefferson is like, that's right, brother. We're going to keep everyone out. So please, if you don't want any extra holes in your torso, stay away from there and don't bother myself or Sergeant Shaw. And Shaw just kind of rolls her eyes at him and is like, yeah, we can chat, just, we cannot allow you to go in and see the specimen. We're just here to keep everyone out and make sure things go off without a hitch.
Yeah, Lincoln, kind of reluctantly gives him a fist bump whenever he's like, that's right, brother. And then he immediately threatens to shoot someone if they mess with it. And he's like, that's a little too much.
Retracting that fist
That is
bump.
unprofessional.
Oh,
Wipes his hand off.
Yeah.
in space, no one can hear you break the law. What? Who says that?
Katrina pulls her earbud out again and says, so, are we done here, Captain? All of this testosterone, I think, is upsetting the energy core.
Yeah, no, I believe we're done. And she kind of gives a stern look to anyone talking about shooting holes in torsos and whatnot. Just I hope everybody will keep to themselves and steer clear of restricted areas. If anything comes up, please just let me or any of the crew know. Thank you. And then she will just kind of sharply turn around and just head out the door towards the helm.
Yeah, and as you do so, everyone gives a knowing nod and an acknowledgement of the rules of the ship as per the captain. And you all are free to leave the energy core room. The scientists and their bodyguards heading towards the starboard cargo.
Katrina hangs out and just checks, makes sure that nobody tampered with anything, and just gives everything a once-over before she leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Williams, I just wish to ask because, from my knowledge, I did not know this, so if it is a thing I wish to learn. Energy core is affected by testosterone?
It was a turn of phrase, Doctor.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I see. Manly men shooting things. I see.
It's very funny.
You are funny.
Great.
You are quite funny.
Well, I think the med bay is waiting for you, Doctor.
Perhaps. I should go see them.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye!
She just turns and puts her earbud back in.
And Dr. Range makes his way to the med bay.
All right. So as you guys go to wherever you feel like hanging out, you basically have a day right now to kind of travel before you reach the light gate and enter light travel to head towards Ishimura Station. So you basically have, a relatively simple day to just kind of hang out and stuff. And that'll be the first day. And then after today, you guys will be in light travel for about 5 days before you reach your destination. But you're basically free to just kind of mingle. The passengers and stuff start just, going about their business. They go and put down their supplies, or at least for Sergei and the doctors, as they're the newest ones. Allison and Vex have already been on the ship for the past day, so they're pretty much situated. The sergeants have been on the ship since you guys left Ishimura Station originally, so they've been here the longest and have mostly kept to themselves unless you've felt like interacting with them. But now that the specimen container is on the ship, they are now on duty and seem more on task than they were before, where they were maybe a little more relaxed. But you see them kind of going over protocols and stuff and just kind of, making sure that the room is hermetically sealed and all that stuff. And, Zhang and Betters are making sure, all of that stuff is in order. And Sergeant Shaw and Jefferson are talking about their shifts and figuring out, how things are going to go.
Is it Sergeant Jefferson that threatened to put holes in people's torsos?
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty quickly after everybody kind of breaks up, Lincoln is going to go approach the other sergeants, and he wants to kind of tell off Jefferson a little bit for his inappropriate conduct.
Yeah, you catch him as they're kind of wrapping things up, and the doctors are heading to their beds in the aft docking bay. But you catch him as he's heading back there.
Yeah, it's like, Sergeant Jefferson, excuse me.
Yeah, what can I do with you for you, brother?
Pleased to get to meet your acquaintance. I hope we have a good trip together. I understand you guys are security for SciTech, but I'm security for this ship. And if you would do me a favor and maybe tone it down a bit and not threaten to shoot people over breaches of conduct on the ship, we don't want to set that kind of morale. I've been in some sticky situations in my life that you could have a ship's crew turn on you, and that could lead to mutiny and all kinds of things. So just try to be a little more professional about that kind of thing. We don't want to threaten to shoot our crew and passengers.
I totally hear you, brother. Apologize for that. Yeah, no, it's just a little slightly off-color joke, but mainly, just letting people know we mean business. But don't worry, don't plan on shooting anybody unless they give me a reason to.
All right, man. I just want to set a professional tone here on the ship. We're here to protect these people, not to bully them.
Yes, sir. Don't worry. I appreciate you doing your job as well and looking out.
All right. Well.
But yeah, if you need any extra help around here, any security, or just looking for an ear, I'm here for you.
Sure. And if in downtime, if you ever want to sling some cards, play a little Texas Hold'em, I'm your man.
Well, you know what? My shift's not for a couple hours. Shaw's taking the first shift. Maybe I'll take you up on that if you're available.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the shifts are, but yeah, I'm totally down. I would love to even roll some dice for some gambling, see if I can take some money off this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the two of you kind of head off. He follows you to your bunk or wherever, or the kitchen, wherever you want to set up. And yeah, you guys play some cards.
I should have made poker one of his hobby skills.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. Well, yeah. So let's say you guys sit down, have maybe you share a brew with him or something. Let's see. Do you have any? Yeah, give me a skill roll, something you think would apply to this. If you have an insight or something to kind of gauge his poker face or whatever.
Maybe threat assessment, the threat of losing. I know it's out on a limb. That's the closest I can think.
Yeah,
of.
No, that's fine. Yeah, just to kind of to gauge whether I guess how confident he is in his hands and stuff like that.
Well, and also in terms of threat assessment, I think this is also to kind of get a feel for who he is and who I'm gonna have to be working with. He's already kind of displayed himself as maybe a little bit of a hothead,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so if you click on your token, you should have your buttons there. So just give me a roll whenever you're ready, and I will roll for him.
All right, that's a 15.
He got an 18.
Ooh.
All right, so he's able to get you. He seems a little he seems cocky for sure, but you can't tell if that's earned or not. But it's definitely making it hard for him a little tougher, to read on him. If you want to try again, we can see how if things change or continue.
Sure.
All right.
22 this time.
Ooh, nice. All right, this time he got a 5. All right, so we'll say that as you guys are playing, he started off cocky and stuff like that, and as you're kind of finally starting to slowly take some money back, you start kind of getting a little bit of cash off of him, and you see him. He does get a little bit flustered. Especially when you take some of his cash, he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to take some extra shifts to make up for tonight." God damn.
God damn.
But Yeah, but he keeps his cool for the most part. But he definitely lets you know that he's got kind of a tell. Like you see his leg starts kind of like twitching. You know, like he starts like bouncing his knee and stuff like that. He starts sweating a little and just kind of like wipes his brow. You know, a little more often once he starts. You know, once his money is a little more at risk. But you're able to take quite a few bucks off of him.
Sweet. And now I know to look out for that twitchy leg.
Once you guys do that for a few hours, then he was like, you got a better poker face than you kind of let on with there at the beginning. But I see the beer does a good job of covering that up. Yeah, here you go. You earned these credits. And he Venmos you some money or something.
Venmo's still kicking.
Space Venmo.
Yeah. Anybody else doing anything? There's lots of passengers. You guys start to see some of them wandering around a little bit as you guys are carrying out your day. Dimitri, do you have something?
Yeah. So I guess Dimitri, considering that the coordinates are already laid in and pretty much the ship is on autopilot, going exactly where it needs to go. It's not like there's a helm that he's like continuously, a steering wheel or So I'd imagine he was probably just sitting in his pilot seat and he's just been playing and replaying the same space tube video of like the specimen that's encased in ice, that's been publicly released. And he's been playing it without any earbuds in, so I imagine the other people that are also on the bridge probably just got fed up with, because he kept on replaying it, And and so finally he decides that he's going to go ahead, get up and leave. And he's got the idea that he wants to go ahead and perhaps approach maybe the blabbermouth regarding who was it?
Sergey?
Yeah, Sergey. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to approach Sergey whenever he's up and walking about to try to engage for any additional information. So where is Sergey right now?
All right, we'll say that at one point, Sergey was kind of wandering around, just taking a good look at the ship. He hasn't been on this one before, so he's kind of taking the sights in. And eventually he stops in the kitchen for a little while to kind of make himself some coffee or something. And you catch him in there.
Okay, so he just rounds about the corner of the kitchen and kind of just like announces his presence there, just knocks on the wall a little, Says, hello, comrade. Sergey, correct?
Yes. You're Dimitri.
That is correct, yes. I am your pilot, and I was just wondering, how are your accommodations? How is your stay on the ship? Is it to your liking?
Yes, it's very good. Not the best ship I've been on, but also not the worst. You take good care of this bird.
Oh, thank you very much. That is great to hear. I was wondering, just during the meeting earlier, I overheard you mention that you had mentioned. Forgive my curiosity, but you see, I am a bit of an enthusiast of ancient astronaut theories, and I was just curious, how well of a look did you get on the specimen that is obviously not what we're carrying? And he does that in big air quotes.
He gives a little chuckle, and he kind of like motions for you to come a little closer. And he's like, "Yes, I was actually part of the mining crew that found the thing. It was very spooky. The guy that found it, wasn't quite sure what it was, but then someone, stopped him. It's like, oh wait, what is that?" And he pointed it out. And a good thing he stopped because, who knows what that thing is, but, we saw it, and it was just the craziest, spookiest thing we'd ever seen. Usually there's nothing down there, just, rocks and minerals that we use to build all these crazy and beautiful things like the ship or space stations. And someone saw the specimen. Obviously this looked more organic than any rocks we had seen. But, the ice is very cloudy around it, so we couldn't get that good of a look on the details or anything, and I know the videos online make it look even worse. Very blurry, not good video quality at all. Also, the guy who was videotaping, kept filming everything in vertical mode, and that's just terrible.
Oh,
But,
and he's just listening with rapt attention for any little tidbits that you might be able to reveal on it. And and he agrees. Like, oh, absolutely. Whenever I was looking at video, I keep on watching. I have video bookmarked, and I'm subscribed to the space tuber who provided it. And yes, I wish that the quality was so much better. And I was wondering about it, and it's unfortunate that you could not see anything, because I was so curious, because you said it was organic, but I mean, it leads me to wonder. I mean, is this carbon based? Is it silicon based? Is it an arthropod? Did it, or does it have flesh? Does it have feathers? Is there any vestigial limbs, multiple heads? I want to know more.
No, it was very cloudy. It seemed like almost like around the specimen, there was a lot of red, like the ice was red around it, almost as if maybe something else was around it and it died and this came out or something. I don't know, but there's just more organic material around the ice, and what we can tell, it just looked like hamburger, like it was just lump of meat and flesh. Maybe some teeth or something in it, I don't know. For all we know, it's something dead, or just, I don't know, maybe some explorer left his lunch, and it flew out the window or something long time ago. Who knows?
The alien is Meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger
Yeah,
Force.
yeah. It's Meatball from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, exactly.
Oh, hey guys, I'm the alien.
But you know the strangest thing, though?
What is it?
We have found minerals and metal alloys that we've not seen anywhere else on the planet near this thing. So we believe that may have been pieces from maybe a ship or structure that maybe this creature was in long time ago. But whatever was there has been long destroyed and or eroded by now. But it was just tiny samples. But yes, we haven't broken the creature out, so other than how it looks, we don't know anything.
And Dimitri is just wide-eyed and like giving that open mouth smile that you'd imagine like from the Chris Pratt meme, for Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And he's just like so excited about this. And he's got to like kind of like come back to himself, pull himself back in, from all this wonder. And he just kind of is that, well, now that you are no longer on the surface of that planet, make sure to take care of yourself. Give yourself the same care and attention that you would give others, and just watch yourself bloom. Okay, can you do that for me? And he just kind of claps his hand on his shoulder, and just kind of like, just being very sincere, looking into his eyes, just like, just really just like find your, like really just be at peace with yourself,
Yeah, go ahead and give me a skill roll for that.
All right.
This should be easy, uncontested. All right, but as you say that to him, he just kind of like gives an acknowledging, expression, just be like, you know what, you're right, I do deserve better. Yeah, I'm very glad I'm retiring now that from the money we made from selling the specimen. And it'll be good to see my husband, Ivan. Maybe we can do something nice for ourselves. Thank you very much, Dimitri.
Wonderful.
I appreciate your words.
Absolutely. Anytime. If you need anything, come back and you talk to me. All right? We are comrades.
Sounds good. Thank you, my friend. And he offers his hand out for a handshake.
And I accept.
Alrighty. Excellent.
Never let the Russians in the room together ever again. Their voice is so deep, so powerful. Too much. Energy core explode.
All right. And
cannot
with that,
help
he
it.
continues he continues his business in the kitchen, just making himself like a little sandwich and some coffee. And you're free to go back to your station or do whatever you want.
I'm just going to wander around and kind of do more tasks around the ship, you know.
Sounds good. Yeah, you go back to your doing your chores around the ship here and there, as Sergei continues his business and heads back to his area in the aft docking bay. Did anybody else want to do anything at this time?
I will. So Katrina walked from the energy core up to the helm, where she can do some more of her mechanic stuff, her engineering. But she sees that the captain is up there, so she walks over to the captain as well and just says, "Captain, please tell me that we're getting paid enough from this whole expedition that we won't have to have any more extra passengers anytime soon."
Yeah, we just needed to pick up a couple of extra bucks to just to pay for our docking fees for traveling. But
I understand. They just have such sticky fingers, They go to the kitchen and then they don't wash their hands, and then I'm fishing out a candy wrapper from within the energy core, and it's just always a mess when we have others on the ship.
That was Lincoln.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I understand your concerns, but I mean, transporting folks is a great way for us to make some extra money. But to address your concerns, I mean, once we drop off this specimen to SciTech, it'll be a pretty good payday. We can if we don't need to pick up extra passengers, we won't have to.
All right. Well, you know how I feel. And she just turns and goes back to her work.
Meanwhile, Captain Irons is probably just, trying to set up, the next job at the space station, as well as, sending kind of like status updates to, the client, just letting them know that, we've picked up the specimen. We're en route right now. We should be, giving them like our ETA.
Sounds good.
Just captain-y duties.
Yeah. Is Officer Sylvia doing anything?
Office per.
Staying away.
Officer Sylvia is probably prowling around looking for food, either like, easy bites in the kitchen, if any, maybe kind of like, maybe as Dimitri and Sergei were in there, maybe kind of like yowled a little bit to see if anyone would drop some scraps. If not, probably start prowling the ship looking for any vermin that might have snuck on at any point.
Yeah, I think in the kitchen, Sergei will definitely look to see if it's okay to give Sylvia a snack, and will offer a little bit of the meat from his sandwich.
It'll be our little secret.
And he nods and is like, just shh, and like, puts a finger up to his lips, and then he gives a piece to the cat. And then give me a skill roll to see if the cat finds anything.
I love
The
it.
cat has skills.
Yeah.
Keen senses as Officer Sylvia is, prowling the ship, looking for any threats or anything like that. They do a pretty clean sweep of, the normal walking areas, and maybe she goes up through the smaller little vents that she knows she's not often supposed to go through, but she's the cat. She does whatever the fuck she wants. But she does a pretty clean sweep, and for the most part, the ship seems pretty clean. She seems pretty positive that there isn't anything in here.
I so badly wanted to bring a mouse to Katrina.
Here, you're starving.
Alrighty. Anybody else doing anything?
Fun final thing. Dr. Ranged, while the boys are playing cards and such, would make his way back to the doctor's after grabbing a few smaller snacks from the kitchen, and come through the door and, "Hello there, I have brought you all some snacks if you are hungry, so you may feel free. Don't worry about the trash, someone here cleans it up, throw it wherever you wish. Now, I had some questions," as he sort of leans in. about these rumors and speculations. Of course. This is definitely not thing that we are transporting. I personally have once worked for SciTech myself, so I am privy to some of the things the company does. What all can you tell me on the down low?
As you're explaining these things and like drop, kind of like offer out the snacks, you see Dr. Zhang is like kind of like diligently looking at like some sort of tablet or computer on her lap and is just kind of typing away, like doesn't even look at you, is just keeping her eyes on the tablet the entire time, and just says, well, if you are a former employee of SciTech, then you know how extensive our NDAs are, and we're not allowed to speak anything about this project, so if you want any word, you might have to wait for any public announcements the company makes.
Oh, yes.
And I'd like to remind Dr. Betters of that NDA contract. And she just kind of like shoots him a look, and he's like, oh, yes, of course, yes. But he just kind of looks at you, kind of looks excited and giddy, and is like, oh, if you don't mind, I need to go use the restroom. I'll be back. I'm gonna go do that. Then he gets up and then walks out.
Of course, Dr. Betters, Med Bay, yada yada, it's fine. Yes, Dr. Zhang, of course, I am very much aware, hence my leaving the company. I feel certain information should be shared freely. But on that note, I have forgotten antihistamines. I meant to bring those for everyone because of that cat. So I will be back shortly, and I will check on your other doctor to make sure he does not flush himself out into space and whatnot. Bye-bye. And he promptly turns and, definitely going not to talk with anyone whatsoever, returns to the medbay.
Yeah, just as you're heading out, you just hear from the distance just NDA. Betters.
NDA, of course. Stupid. And he'll make his way down to catch up with Dr. Betters, who he quickly picked up, shares the same views on knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
As he comes in and sees Dr. Betters. Hello there, so wonderful to see you. Okay, what can you tell me?
Okay, so, not much. We haven't done any extensive studying yet, but it's amazing.
Wow.
We have no idea what this thing is. We've only gotten a few microscopic samples that we've been able to process so far. We don't have much tech out here, and the real work starts once we get, back to SciTech, the main lab.
Of course.
But this is definitely something extraterrestrial. It's astonishing. We don't know what it is yet. We don't even know if it's a single organism yet. It's hard to tell beneath the block of ice. It's very murky and muddy.
Right.
Almost as if, I don't know if there was some other organism around it, so I don't know if it was hiding in something and that died or it shrank. We have no idea.
That is amazing.
Yes, our initial scans just show a little bit, of just some... I don't even know how to explain it, but just, it almost appears like a single-celled organism, but at the same time it's more complex than that. It seems to just... I don't know. Its forms... It's hard to figure out. We can't really make out what it is or supposed to be. It looks like it has some bits of... I don't know, other creatures. It's just, it didn't make sense. It wasn't all one thing. I don't know, maybe it was... Maybe this was just something's lunch, and this was just in the stomach or whatever, but it doesn't, whatever is there seems to be, inconclusive as to whether it's just a single creature or multiple, so we might have several aliens. I don't know.
Oh, right. And Range is now, grabbing antihistamines. You should get back to your colleague, but He's grabbing antihistamines. But you should return to your colleague quickly, of course. But,
yes.
Perhaps if you can work on her and perhaps request assistance, I may be able to get in there and work my magic. I have extensive knowledge on things, so I may be of some assistance, and we can learn more before having to hand it over to your employers. Yes?
Well, I mean, we'll see what I could do. I don't know if I'm necessarily allowed to do that.
Of course. No, only if
you work for SciTech, you know how stringent they are, so I could potentially lose my job just doing this right now. But, I figure this is harmless enough, but unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to get you any samples or anything.
No. I simply just keep in mind anything for knowledge, yes? Now, quick, go to your colleague. Your PP way too long.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, if you want to catch up again some more later and talk, we have like about a week, so we could probably, talk some more
Yes,
shop
you have
later.
time to work on something. Yes.
Yes, Zhang is she's a brilliant doctor, but she is a little, takes a job a little too seriously in my opinion, but not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it does tend to ruffle feathers of those, outside of SciTech a bit, so.
Right, of course.
Don't blame her too much, but anyway.
Yes.
Go
now.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Sorry, bye. And he just hurries out and goes back.
And the range just then goes about offering antihistamines, and then we'll return to his medbay.
Alrighty. Anyone else doing anything for the day, or is that good?
Plenty.
Alrighty. Quick question. Who all has worked for any of the rival companies before this?
I have.
If you need reminders, some of the rival companies to SciTech are companies such as like Arcom, Futures Inc., Sabercore, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I think Lincoln briefly worked for Sabercore before coming here. After he left the Terran Alliance government.
Mm-hmm. So you would know that they're kind of like a technology research company, mainly in like futuristic weapon tech or anything like that, security items. So it would make sense for you to work there. And Dr. Ranged, who did you work for?
In my mind, as I said before, I feel like Ranged has had a bit of experience working for most of these companies. He's jumped around, and there's always either him leaving because too much surveillance, or something happened that resulted in his being let go. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's had a foot in the door with most of these companies, including SciTech and others.
Gotcha. Lincoln, you at some point throughout the day get a text on your phone, or whatever the equivalent of that is at this point in time in the future.
Yeah, it's comm unit or whatever.
Yeah.
Space phone. I mean, come on.
Or a message on Facebook,
Oh, right.
But you get a message from Sabercore, and it simply reads just, "Greetings, Officer Lincoln Gore. We come to understand that your ship is escorting a rare specimen of alien potential origin. And if you were to get us the creature and or a sample of it, we would compensate you greatly."
Oh.
And Dr. Range, you get several messages from basically several contacts from all of those companies, more or less giving you the same spiel. A lot of them saying that they'll give you plenty of compensation if you were to get them anything.
I just feel like Lincoln's probably too much of a professional to want to risk doing that, and it's like literally part of his job to prevent that from happening. So I think he just sees the message, and he's, it's in his mind, but he's not taking any action to get in there right this moment.
Man of principles.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he respond in any way to the message?
He just sends back heard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ranged on the other hand, does essentially like a reply all individually of essentially, I will do what I can. We shall see the results. But then deletes all the messages.
Perfect. Okay, you respond to that. So you get a message basically from Archon, Futures Inc., and Sabercore. And you get a message back from those you replied, essentially telling you to, that they await for your results if you're able to get them something, and to, contact them when you get back to Ishimura Station.
Well, look who needs Dr. Range now.
Arcom messages you back, saying that they are excited to hear that you're willing to work with them, and that they have an agent on location as well, that if you can help them, that would be much appreciated.
Range would reply to them, to Arcom. Essentially, who?
How would I know them?
Yeah. How can I identify this person?
They message you back, saying that they are currently going by the name Allison Reyes.
All right. Once again, Range confirmed. We shall see the results. And again, wipes all the messages.
And is anyone doing anything else for the night, especially given those revelations?
As the night comes and it gets a little later, some hours pass and such, things are going normally smoothly. Ranged will make his way back once again to the aft deck area. And upon entering and seeing these civilians, is just, hello. Excuse me, I am so sorry. You there, what was your name again? You are Sergey, the minor found this thing. Very nice. We talk later. And you are Vex. Right. And you, miss, have been very silent. Who are you? I'm sorry.
She's just kind of going through her phone, seemingly looking at emails and stuff, and she looks up at you and says, I am Allison Reyes.
Ah, Miss Reyes. And he takes out his own space phone and looks it over and says, may we speak in private? There are some medical things I wish to address you with before we get too much further into space and such.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
And she gets up and follows you.
Thank you, and gives a wave to the others, and essentially we'll just scooch over here before heading back into the main area where they have guards in front of the cargo. He will be smiling and looking about, making sure no one's in the immediate area, and then lean in and whisper, I believe we have a mutual contact that has potential work for you and I.
And she just looks at you and says, I am well aware. I have been told of your potential involvement.
Yes. I have already spoken with Dr. Betters and implied that perhaps he could convince his colleague that they may need assistance with this specimen. So perhaps if this works out, maybe with some assistance on your end, considering you all are sharing the back, we might be able to work something out, yes?
Yes, don't worry. I have some plans in the works. Don't worry too much, just make sure that the crew stay out of the way if you can.
And just then Katrina walks into the energy core.
So that is why you must be very careful, especially with the cats with the allergy you have. Oh, hello, Miss Williams.
She does not acknowledge you because she has her earbuds in, doesn't even notice you, just walks by and starts working.
Yeah. But yes.
I like her.
Yes, she is a very straight to business kind of woman. Yes. But yes, if you have any more questions for me or require more antihistamines, or if your medical condition may possibly affect others, or perhaps leave something in the ship, do inform me so I may properly prepare medical and whatnot, yada yada.
I already told you I brought my own antihistamines. You don't have to keep offering me more.
Okay, I just do not want us responsible for any, unforeseen deaths that may not be covered by insurance.
Yes, I understand. I appreciate your help. Now, if you don't mind, Doctor, I'm gonna go back to reading my articles.
Of course. Have a good one and such. Bye-bye, Miss Reyes.
And she goes back.
God damn it, is that a candy bar in the energy core again?
Oh no, what the heck? Who's doing that? Is that you cleaning these things up?
And then you see Dimitri throw a candy wrapper down one of the halls.
Miss Williams. Miss Williams.
Yes. What can I do for you, Doctor?
Hello there. Tell me, this ship is capable, perhaps, of whatever these rumors are, protecting us, like sealing rooms and vents and stuff, yeah?
It's got, basic life support and all that, yeah.
Right. And
Yes, you would know, Katrina, that, yes, basically each room and hallway on the ship that's separated by doors has the capability of being sealed, so that way no oxygen can enter or exit that room, therefore sealing off any fires and or contaminants to kind of isolate any problems and stuff like that. And in those cases as well, there's basically tubes that go through each room to essentially provide oxygen and stuff like that as well. There are emergency hatches, so basically there's kind of a vent system
Jeffrey's
that goes
tube.
between there's a vent system that goes between all the rooms in case you need a emergency get out of a room and the doors are shut or something like that, but
Gotcha.
they're sealed for the most part.
She says yes, Doctor, don't worry. The everything can be sealed off. In fact, the cargo bay with that alien or not alien or whatever it is hermetically sealed at the moment. I don't think there should be any problem.
wonderful. And there's he glances around, ways that some of these looky-loos may sneak in?
I don't know about any looky-loos, but it should be fine. They got those security guards out front. I don't know what my accent is anymore.
I believe you were Australian.
It's something like that.
Right. Well, thank you very much. I would like to extend to you, of course, many thanks for all you do, and I will ensure to tell the others not to litter as much, seeing it is you who is cleaning up all this garbage and not the cat.
That would be great. Thank you, Doctor.
Right. Good night, Miss Williams. I will be retired.
Good night, Doctor.
So, bye-bye, and he goes to his room.
All right. So at this point, it's basically getting to like the equivalent of nighttime. So it's like, there's basically the galactic standard time of what is considered night, since there's, so many planets and space stations that kind of all have their own, physical day and night cycle. But a lot of them stick to galactic standard time to stay on the same time schedule as pretty much, the rest of the galaxy. To kind of make things easier, so that way people aren't, thrown off by everyone else's, day and night schedules if they're doing work from afar. But you guys get to that standard, nighttime where pretty much everyone's winding down, going to bed. You guys see Sergeant Shaw and Sergeant Jefferson switch shifts. So Jefferson takes the lead position in guarding the door and making sure people don't hang around for too long. Does anybody do anything before heading to bed? And is everyone going to bed, or are some people staying up?
Dimitri is actually already in bed, but he's not actually like laying down or anything. He's kind of like resting up against the wall, and sitting on the bed. And he is reading his like self-motivational help books, for any additional insight that he can impart his wisdom onto any other individuals that are in need of crisis, in need of help. And at the same time, he just has a little tablet opened up to like a drawing app, and it's just like a really poor rendition of like a meatball with teeth.
Looks awfully
Excellent.
friendly.
Katrina just does like one more check on all the systems, make sure everything is good to go, and then also goes to bed. Joins Dimitri and sees that sketch, and just sort of like looks over his shoulder, like, oh, that's an interesting drawing you have there.
And Dimitri is just kind of proud as a peacock because he thinks that he's the only one that got any like inside information as to what this was, or anything like that. So for him, it's just kind of like, oh, I'll never tell,
Snap a picture and put it on the gram.
Right.
This is just friendly meatball character I come up with.
Yes. And as he does that, he just like quickly takes a copy of it and then like sends it off to like all the like random sketch bloggers for ancient astronaut theorists.
all the conspiracy forums he's part of.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like real proof, and it's just like a kindergarten drawing. Yeah.
Are you sending that picture of a meatball to all of your friends?
Yes. It's part of a podcast I'm part of.
Oh, weird. Wait, what's the podcast? I love podcasts.
Oh, well, the podcast is all about aliens and such.
Oh, never mind.
Just making it up.
That's the name of the podcast. It's all about aliens and such.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do we have a like camera system? Like, are there cameras rigged up to the different like?
Yes. Yeah. There's a camera for every main room, except for okay. Yeah. So there's a camera in every room, but the obviously like the bathroom parts and stuff like have walls in them that like partitions that essentially block the cameras.
Except
obviously
for the ones that
but
the doctor put in there.
Those are my private cameras.
Those are forwarded to my private quarters.
So
but you have cameras for like basically each hallway. You can pretty much get like just about any angle on the ship.
Would Gore have access to the camera feeds via like his comm unit or phone or anything?
Yeah, we can say you have like a tablet or something, and that he uses that to kind of scroll through the cameras and stuff, and I'd say he probably has like some minor control over them, like can make them move to zoom in on whatever he deems zoom
necessary. Right.
Yeah.
So my idea was like Gore's gonna go to bed, but like he got that message from Sabercore, so he has suspicions that other people may be getting similar propositions. So he sets up his like camera feed, particularly focused on the starboard cargo, on his little tablet or whatever, and sets a like alarm system for like if the motion detector in that room goes off, it'll wake him up.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh,
Excellent.
What have you got there, Mr. Gore? From his bed, kind of looking over.
I love that it's like he sets it up and then he's got the one other suspicious person in his room. Nothing. Just watching a football game.
Oh, very strange.
Nice football.
Very interesting football game, yeah?
And he like kind of curves it away so you can't see it, you know?
Yeah, touchdown.
Fella, if anything interesting happens in your football game, yeah, you let me know so we may be properly prepared for celebrations or other.
He gives you a look, and like, I think it's a much more knowing look. Like, he knows you know he's full of shit, but he's wondering like what side of that conundrum you're on. Like, if you also are concerned about the security of the thing, or if you're someone he needs to be suspicious of. So like he like kind of gives you a knowing nod, hoping that like you're concerned about protecting the cargo, not infiltrating it.
It just opens up an app like, all right, person of interest, doctor.
Exactly. Immediately, like, watch the doctor.
Person of interest / new best friend? I don't know.
Yeah. It's one or the other.
Excellent. Alrighty. Anybody else doing anything before bedtimes?
I don't know if anything will come out of it, but Captain Irons is, she's kind of like very by the book, and kind of probably has like a before turning in for the night kind of like routine, just kind of checking in with each member of the crew, just making sure systems are functional, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing to report. And just kind of doing like her own rounds of the ship, just making sure her personally checking levels on the energy core.
Yeah, I guess.
Checking the life support.
I guess that's something I should have asked you, Tony. When I did my final checks, did everything look good?
Yes, as far as you can tell, everything looks fine. All instruments were displaying, their appropriate and preferred statuses. So everything looks green as far as two of you can tell.
Yeah, okay. I definitely relay that to the captain before I go to bed too.
Sounds good.
And he's going to just go. Dimitri is going to relay our current coordinates, as well as approaching time when we should be there, etc., to the captain, and send it off with and afterwards a post GIF of just like a motivational quote, and it's just like it just says like, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is complete.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
That's the cat hanging in there is above your bed, like
Sylvia
at the foot of your bed or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just see like on the walls, it's either like the classic UFO, they're out there, kind of
I
thing.
want to believe.
The truth is
Yeah,
out
the
there.
truth is out there. Yeah, exactly. And then right next to believe,
Is Officer Sylvia doing anything?
Part of the late night routine is probably the captain putting out food for Sylvia. So
Meow makes a fancy feast, of course.
yeah,
Are cats nocturnal and
she'll probably
Cats sleep whenever they feel like it.
they sleep like 16 hours a day or something like that. So
Does Sylvia ever go into any of the other rooms, like the hallways or cargo? Do they go into the aft docking bay at all or anything?
probably. I imagine like the people's private chambers would only kind of like let Sylvia's biosignature open the door if the people in the room have personally okayed that.
Mm-hmm.
No cats in medbay.
So it seems like pretty much just the doctor's room and the med bay. The cat's not cleared for security.
Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to just like roll a die to randomize like where Sylvia ends up at key points during the night, like feel free, because she's a cat. She'll go over where she pleases.
We haven't seen First Officer Sylvia in 3 days. Oh, she's been in port cargo, just sleeping. Got it.
Yeah. I think at some point Sylvia just kind of made their rounds through the ship and ends up in the aft docking bay at some point, or maybe even just like during the hallways. Just kind of runs into like into Vex, and Vex will, they'll definitely like just offer her pets, and just be like, it's like, oh, hi kitty, oh, you're so adorable. It's like, what is your rank? And like they look at your tags on Sylvia as like, ooh, officer. It's like, nice to meet you, officer. And they give her a salute.
The officer.
The officer, yeah. And Vex is like, just kind of like picks them up a little if they allow, and just kind of like scratches them and pets them. And they kind of just like wander the ship a little bit with Sylvia in their arms if they allow, and just kind of like look around. So Sylvia just kind of hangs out in their arms as they just kind of walk down the halls, and just looks like they kind of walk through a little bit in the ship. They like kind of go towards the helm. Does the captain allow people to go into the helm, the passengers, or I don't know if that room is securely locked or not. That was totally up to you if you want to do that.
I think that the helm is off limits to
off limits
to passengers.
Okay. But they would go there, just kind of see that they're off limits, and then just kind of like shrug and just kind of look. Is Sylvia allowed in the helm? Would Sylvia's tag trigger the door?
Hack the planet.
Only if Captain Irons is in the helm.
I see. Okay, sounds good. Then yeah, they'll see that the helm is not open, and they'll just kind of be like, oh, okay, and then just kind of walk away, and they'll just kind of wander around. They enter the kitchen with Sylvia in tow. Just look around. They kind of look for a snack and just kind of like look for any cat treats that are there, and if they find any, they'll kind of just pick one out of the cupboard and like put Sylvia down and just like offer it to them to like kind of eat out their hand.
They've Captain Irons probably makes sure they stock up like those squeezy cat treats, which are basically just like Go-Gurt for cats. Yeah, it would be those.
Yeah, Vex will definitely take one of those and offer it to Sylvia and just be like, don't tell the captain, but you're my favorite crew member so far.
Candy wrappers are littered on the countertop. God damn it!
But Vex Vex makes sure to throw them away. Vex is respectful. They don't leave the trash on the floor. Once they're done giving Sylvia the snack, they'll throw away their trash and then let them go back about their business. And once they head back to their quarters, if anyone sees them on the way, Vex will just give a very polite nod and wish them a good night and head back to their sleeping area. And with that, we'll go into the night times and go to sleep for everyone, or at least everyone that is going to bed. Who is going to sleep and who's staying up?
Dimitri is going to sleep.
I sleep.
Gore's going to sleep, but like I said, has that alarm. Like if any motion in the off limits cargo, he's got a little beeper to wake him up.
Do you sleep with your eyes open like Gandalf?
Huh?
Yeah.
That is a peculiar medical condition. I will fix it.
So his eyelid shut.
Just like knifes him in his sleep.
Now you can close your eyes forever. Good.
Oh no! Someone killed the security officer.
He died of steel injection.
This is awful.
Okay. Everyone who what kind of movement is Lincoln is his alarm set for? Just like any slight movement, or if like people get out, or how sensitive is it, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, like, no one's supposed to be in there, right?
Oh, for the starboard cargo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay,
It's
I thought
not.
you were
Yeah,
saying
his like alarm's not set for movement for the whole ship. It's like the alarm is specifically for that one cargo area.
Got you. Okay, I thought you were thinking. You were saying the aft docking bay for some reason, because people are going to be tossing and turning. Your alarm's
No,
going to go
no,
off all the time.
just where the specimen is.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense. Got you. All right, cool. All right. So, everyone that is asleep, make me a hard difficulty level skill check. You can use any perceptive type of skill that you have, if you have one. If not, just make a basic skill roll. If you're awake, make a medium one.
I'm just trying to think of
So-
one that would be for perception for mine.
Katrina rolled a
Navigating,
natural
piloting.
20 for listening.
Oh, nice.
We'll just say that I
And
don't
just
have
to-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. And for those for the audience, a hard difficulty check is 15. A medium is 10. So if you're awake, you just need to roll above a 10. If you're asleep, above a 15.
Dr. Ranged is sleeping quite comfortably.
Perfect.
I'm going to
Um,
move a sleeping Officer Sylvia onto the
Other bed.
actually into the aft docking bay, and probably like sleeping up on like the warm machines for the kind of the core controls. So
Nice.
kind of like cat on a laptop sort of situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? That's exactly what Rage is thinking this whole time.
Alrighty,
Yeah,
so
everywhere.
looks like Katrina Gore was sleeping. Foley was asleep. Alright, so it looks like Katrina is the only one that's succeeded with a natural 20 for a total of 26. Katrina, you're sleeping soundly. Dimitri is maybe snoring a little bit, but not enough to wake you up. But maybe like you guys have some sort of soft light in here or something that just kind of illuminates the room, just like on a very base level, just so that way if you get up, you're not in darkness and you trip and hurt yourself. But something happens, Katrina. You just kind of like something startles you awake as you notice the lights like flash. It's not enough to like be extremely alarming, but it was enough to kind of bother you a little bit, just like whatever you see the flash in your eyelids, and as you wake up, like the lights kind of go out and go black, and then after like 5 seconds they come back on.
So she like groans and rolls out of bed. God damn it, somebody fucks something up again. Just like goes out. So this would be probably something that I would go to the helm to look at, right? The helm is more like general ship controls and that sort of thing, whereas the core is more for the engine specifically.
The helm does a lot of like the surface stuff, but like the core controls are for very much like the under the hood, like very base
I'll
controls.
head to the helm first and take a look at my engineering station in the helm to see if there's any anomalies in the reports or anything recently. Just trying to figure out what that was.
So you go ahead and give me a computers check or something like that to kind of see if you can detect any.
So I have
anomalies.
robotics, tinkering, or engineering. Which one do you think?
Let's do engineering.
That's a 13 for a total of 19.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna do a roll and see. Alrighty, so kind of going through the logs on the ship, you kind of notice something irregular. where for the most part, like you do see like things running normal, and then like just at a point like right before when you woke up and noticed the lights flicker, you notice that something accessed the ship's computers and basically turned off a lot of like major like functions for like a few seconds, maybe like half a minute, and during that time the ship's communication abilities were hampered or something. I don't know, you can't really tell, but they were tampered with or something for a little bit, or offline, and then come back. But you do notice also as well that that interruption kind of fluctuated through the ship and tripped something, and a lot of the ship's functions like briefly for a second shut off.
So once I see that, I will do whatever is necessary to get everything back online and like secure, and make sure that I know everything is functional and in good shape. And once I've done that, I will just like slowly start walking through the ship, looking down the halls, looking for like people who are up and about who might be doing stuff. And as I pass by the starboard cargo bay and I see Sergeant Jefferson there, I'll just sort of like nod at him and take a few steps forward and just say, hello there, Sergeant, I believe. Have you seen anybody up and about doing anything?
He looks up. He's like sitting on a stool by the door, just kind of like staring at his phone, and he kind of looks at you and he's like, yeah, that was kind of weird. Does that normally happen? That like kind of the lights flickered on for a little bit. I don't know what the hell that was.
No, it's not normal. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So you didn't see anybody?
Not yet. Anything I should be concerned about?
Not sure, but I'll let you know.
Please do.
And then she turns and goes through the core, make sure that the core looks all okay and nothing's broken in here. Everything look good?
No, things look fine. Things don't look weird or anything like that.
Then she will go and walk into the aft room quietly, knowing that people are probably asleep, and just like looks and makes sure that everybody's asleep. No one's up and looks like they've been doing stuff.
Give me a perception roll.
Listening or just a basic roll?
Whatever.
Listening it is. That's a total of 14.
Alright. You do notice a few of them kind of stir. In particular, you notice Allison stir and just kind of like turn away from you as you enter.
Okay.
Nothing suspicious. You don't notice.
And then I'll see the cat on the controls and just be like, God damn it, Officer Sylvia, it's you, wasn't it? You walked across the keyboard. And then I'll walk up and I'll see that like the screen says like KSJLFGB9. Yep, of course. Just hit backspace and, make sure that everything in the core is set up properly as well.
Meow.
Gary?
As you kind of come up, Sylvia just, stirs awake and just starts like rubbing up on you.
Cute, I suppose, but I need to stop walking across things. How many times have I told you?
Meow.
Lincoln.
Yes, sir.
Your alarm goes off.
Okay. Well, I rolled below the 15 last time, so I didn't know. It's like, did the alarm go off? And I or anything? But he kept sleeping.
Mm-hmm. As far as you can tell, it's just going off now.
Okay. I mean, do I need to roll to wake up?
No, you wake up. I imagine you'd set your alarm to be loud enough and distractive enough to wake you up. So, ranged, you would also wake up as well as you hear Lincoln's alarm going off.
Nein, Gott in Himmel!
Yeah, don't worry about it, Doctor. You just go back to sleep. And Lincoln starts getting all like putting his boots on. He wants to go check out the starboard cargo.
Okay. Are you checking the cameras at all on your tablet?
Yeah, absolutely, immediately.
All right. So as you check the tablet, you look at the camera within the starboard cargo, and you see the camera in there is kind of staticky, like something is off, and like you check the cameras for other rooms, and it's not doing the same in the others. But as you stare, you see that the specimen container looks like it's has moved or has been moved, but it's not in the same spot it was. It looks like its angle has shifted a little bit, and so like therefore like its angles are a little different than what they were before. And as you stare, you see it just kind of move and shift again. So it just, and you see something, and you see like the camera, it continues to kind of be a little staticky. And you've noticed that this has happened before when power has accidentally been shut off in this room. But you see the item, the container, just kind of shift and move, just like ever so slightly, and then the shaking starts becoming more and more violent, and then it starts, I don't know if you have audio on it, but it starts making noise, and then after a while you see Jefferson run into the room, gun out, just kind of like looking around, looking confused, and the door shuts behind him, and he's just kind of like staring at the container, looking very worried, and his gun trained on it, and you see it like erupt. Just the container explodes open, you see the lid fly off, and then the camera goes static and cuts out and goes black.
Oh shit.
Ranged next to you,
and
Gore is like, the football game is not going well.
And that's where we're gonna take a break for it now.
Now it's popping off. I'm glad I thought to have the camera. That's a good scene.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, and we're back. So, before the break, the crew went to bed for the night. There was a slight electrical disturbance that woke up Katrina. She investigated, saw that, using the computer's logs on the ship, found that there was some potential tampering. Something accessed the ship's controls, and seemed to have disabled a few functions. And it kind of caused a weird hiccup in the system of the ship and caused a lot of things to shut off for like about 30 seconds. And then shortly after that, the security officer, Lincoln, was awoken by his alarm that he set to, trigger if anything in the starboard cargo moved or if there was any movement detected in there. He opened his tablet to look at what the disturbance was and saw the specimen container shifting and moving. After a few seconds of that movement getting more and more violent, the door opens up and Sergeant Jefferson enters the room, guns drawn, looking at the container. The door shuts behind him, and shortly after, the container explodes and the camera feed goes staticky and cuts out and goes to black. And that's where we're picking up now.
Yeah, so, I had said Lincoln Gore was, quickly, trying to put on his boots and get geared up. And I imagine, do we have, comm units, kind of like a walkie-talkie with the captain? Yeah. So he would immediately, patch into the captain and be like, Captain, we've got a problem in the starboard cargo. There's something going on in there. Sergeant Jefferson's in there. I'm headed there now. And he's going to run, as quickly as he can to try to get into the starboard cargo and see what's going on. Assess this threat.
Copy that, Lincoln.
As Gore runs off, ranges, I will grab a medical kit and help. And he
sounds good.
He's doing the med bay and grabbing stuff.
Was the explosion loud enough for Katrina to hear it in the back of the ship?
Give me a listening roll.
She's good at that.
That is a 9. Thanks, Eric.
No, has earphones in.
As soon as she comes to the conclusion that the disturbance was from Officer Sylvia, she just puts her earbuds in and starts getting to work.
Lincoln being the security officer, I would imagine I could make an argument he would keep his pistol with him at all times. Do I need to run to the armory to get his rifle?
That would probably be in the armory.
Okay, yeah, he wants to get the big guns, So, which that's right across the hall. So he would run, slap the door access on the side and quickly try to gather his rifle and have it prepared when he runs around the hall to get to the starboard cargo door.
Sounds good. All right, we're going to switch maps. We're now going to the spooky one. Alrighty.
Scared.
Oh dear.
Lincoln.
Yes.
So you're going to the crew or the armory, right?
Yeah, across the hall.
Okay.
He picked that room on purpose because it's literally right across the hallway to the armory door in case he needed his rifle.
All right. So you go into the armory, and you see the locker there in front. You go up to it, and you enter your passcode to open it and pull out your rifle that you have in there. Are you doing anything else?
Is there anything else I can grab? Are there other... Do I need grenades or anything?
Let's blow this bitch.
Let's blow the hole.
I would imagine you guys probably wouldn't have grenades on a ship.
I would think not, but you're in an armory, you got to ask.
Yeah.
He was primarily coming in here for his
flashbangs,
specific rifle. But if there's anything else I would observe that might be of use, he'll grab it quickly.
Yeah. For the most part, my system, I'm keeping it kind of loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
So there aren't stats for stuff, but if there's anything that you feel would be reasonable for Lincoln to have, pending approval by me, I'll say he has it. So if you think, he has like flash bangs or something, sure, he can have a few of those.
Are the lights out, or is this just for our viewing?
Right now the lights are on. It's
Okay.
just basically there's walls set up on the map right now
Got
that
it.
are
Gotcha.
okay. So they're blocking your vision
Fog of war, so to speak.
from seeing other. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a couple of if there's a flashbang or something that wouldn't do ship damage, but might stun an enemy or something, he would grab that. And of course, if he doesn't have a flashlight on him, in case the lights go out again, I want to have a flashlight for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you grab a flashlight, and it's one of those where you can essentially strap it to your shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
So that way you can keep it relatively hands-free. You grab a rifle and some stun, two stun grenades, and you start heading over towards the
while he was getting
starboard cargo bay.
While he was getting strapped, I would have liked the captain to have met him in the hall as he's coming out. So
okay, yeah,
I'd like to
absolutely.
go with him since he hailed me.
Yeah, and ranged, following behind, having rushed into the med bay, grabbing a med kit, doing a quick little moving his robotic left hand about a bit, making sure things are working, and then tapping his you could say it's robotic ear business on the left side of his head. He's got his med kit and general supplies, catches up with Gore as he's heading out from the armory, just giving a nod I'm ready to help.
Sure thing.
Did Dimitri wake up from this? Anything? I mean, did he hear possibly footsteps outside the door as they were rushing, or would they be
give me some sort of perception check.
All right, let's see. It's just going to be a basic skill roll.
Okay.
15.
Nice, that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll say that the running and stuff. You hear Katrina kind of get up and go out. You kind of lay your head back down, and then you hear some running coming from the captain's direction, heading past your door, and you hear some more muttering and stuff outside.
Okay, and so Dimitri just kind of notices that Katrina is out of her bunk and has left, and kind of looks at the time or whatever kind of way that you can determine time on the spaceship, but so it's her shift isn't ready, so he kind of gets up and he's just kind of wander. He's not in any kind of urgency because he doesn't know yet, so he's actually just going to go ahead and leave the room.
Okay.
And he just kind of looks down the hall because he heard muttering and everything, and just trying to see if does he see anybody, or have they already made their way over there?
We'll give them a few seconds to kind of mingle and catch up with each other, and then when they're done, you'll kind of see them trailing off to wherever.
Gotcha.
So Captain and Gore, you two meet up. So what you talking about?
Yeah, I think Gore is he's in crisis mode, so he ran in, grabbed his grenades, strapped his flashlight on his shoulder, grabbed his rifle, has got it already cocked up on his shoulder, meets the captain in the hallway and says, Captain, we've got problems. I had a camera feed on the starboard cargo. Our little package seems to have exploded. I don't know if there's something in there coming out or if somebody sabotaged it, but Jefferson's in there. We got to get in there now.
The football game went very poorly.
It's just okay, so yes, I understand. Okay, let's execute security protocol. Lock the ship down. Yeah, I think at this point I'll just kind of patch into to Katrina and kind of ask her to kind of handle a lot of the give Katrina a call. Just Katrina, we've got a situation here. We need to go into lockdown. Can you please seal off the aft?
The aft docking bay, where all the passengers are?
Yeah.
On it, Captain. Is this something related to that disturbance earlier?
Disturbance earlier?
Yeah, the lights flickered. The systems are reporting that everything went down for about 30 seconds.
It could very well be. That's very troubling. I will need you to fill me in on that later, but right now we've got to deal with a situation up here.
you're speaking to the captain and responding to her, you notice Allison kind of like her head kind of perk up a little bit, and then after you're done speaking, she lays back down.
All right. I like side eye her.
Captain and Lincoln, back to you guys. What are you doing?
Oh, let's get moving.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Alright.
like, Gore is definitely in that mode. Like, he's kind of leading the way. He's got the big guns and the grenades. Like, you guys stay behind me. I'll go in first, and assess the threat.
Sounds good. You guys start heading towards that direction. And Dimitri, as you kind of, slowly pace out of your room, you see the three of them running down the hallway towards the starboard cargo.
And did he hear like the comms from Katrina that saying that the power kind of went out for about 30 seconds?
I think so. Yeah, I'd say that kind of hit everybody.
Okay. Group
You guys
comms.
kind of have like a group comms.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to go on the comms and says, if the bell went out, I'm going to make sure that our heading is still towards the light gate. And before he does that, he's going to see if he can go into the armory and strap himself with at least a pistol.
Sure.
Just because we're in security protocol.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Yeah. So you also head down to the armory and grab your supplies, any weapons and stuff that you feel comfortable carrying on your person at the moment.
Yeah. Just a pistol for right now. And
Sure.
he's just going to head back and go towards the bridge, the helm. And he's just going to go ahead and make sure that the course is still plotted, that we're still going in the right direction, we're not drifting off, or we haven't moved any degrees.
Sounds good. All right, I'll get back to you on that. But first, we'll, stop keeping people in suspense, and we'll go back over here with these guys. All right, Lincoln, you're in front of the door to the cargo room. You kind of hear. Let's all of y'all give me some. Any kind of perception rolls and stuff like that.
Dr. Range got a 1.
Yeah, I'll say this was a hard roll. Gore, you pass with a 15. So as you're approaching the door, you can hear some movement inside. You hear some like tapping and stuff, like as if something is kind of tapping on metal, and you hear some struggles. You hear some grunts, presumably from Jefferson himself.
Yeah.
And you go up to the door. I presume you try to open it?
Yeah, as quickly as possible.
Alrighty. We'll say that you probably have, only a handful of people had a restriction or access to this room. So probably the only people that were allowed to go in were the doctors and the medical, or not the medical, the security. Yeah. But Captain would have an override for it, for such, occasions. So Captain would have to basically offers like this key card that opens any door and slides it open for you, or triggers it for you. And so you enter the room, and inside you see that the container is essentially just like busted open, and you see and as you go in, you see Sergeant Jefferson just kind of like laying on the floor with his back against one of the cargo boxes in here, and he's just kind of son of a bitch. And he's just, you look at him and he's just covered in cuts, just like cuts all over his body and armor and stuff like that. And he's just like holding you see his gun just like on the floor, like across the room from him, and you do see just some like blood trails coming off of like his direction, just kind of spreading out throughout the room, into like the shelves and stuff, and just kind of like going. You just see these blood trails just kind of going from Jefferson, like out to like the different corners of the room.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking hell.
yeah, Lincoln runs it, sees Jefferson, kind of assesses that all very quickly. Says, Jefferson, are you stable? What are we dealing with here?
It's like, I think I'm all right, but I think there's something in here still. Ugh. And he's just kind of like nervously looking around.
Clear paths. Wounded person must assist.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln would walk further into the room, and what do I see with the box exploded?
Like you see the box is not like in pieces, but you see the lid of the container essentially kind of blown out from the inside. And you see like whatever latches and stuff that were on it were essentially just kind of blown off. It's as if something kind of like punched its way out or something with extreme force.
Okay, so I mean, he would be looking if there's any kind of hole in the box. He'd be looking in there to see if he sees anything, and also sweeping his gun around the room to see if there's anything in the corners or like the ceiling. He doesn't know what he's dealing with here, so it could be coming from any direction. So,
Captain, the door. Shut the door, Captain.
Everybody, give me some sort of like perception roll or
this
something
is
like that. Some
pure-
kind of sensory.
pure threat assessment for Lincoln Gore.
Yeah, absolutely.
God damn it! I rolled a 7.
Can I do like ship knowledge for like potential like hiding places that something might have crawled into in this room?
Yeah,
Would that be acceptable?
Yes.
Ooh, 24.
Nice.
I'm not even going to roll for the perception range. Currently, after he said shut the door, he's focused on Jefferson.
Then give me like a medicine roll or trauma care or some roll to see whether he's injured or not, or how to see how severe his injuries are rather.
We'll do medicine to see how bad stuff is.
Okay, sounds good.
21.
So you just see he has a lot of surface cuts, but you see a few that look deeper than others and are heavily bleeding a little more than others. So you're surprised that he's as good a shape as he is, or at least that he seems like. Gore, you just kind of like, strafe like pan your gun, like the muzzle of your gun, like around the room, and you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. But Captain, as you see, you kind of remember there being some like nooks and stuff behind like these shelves where like something like where these shelves basically aren't necessarily flush with the wall, and like something could be kind of behind one of those. And as you kind of make like pace around your eyes around the room, you look into one of those nooks and you see a tiny pair of glowing white orbs peering back at you.
We'll immediately call out Gore over there. Just letting the security officer know where the situation is.
Yeah. And as soon as you make that gesture and say that, all of you in this room just hear a screech as you see just like whatever was back in there just kind of like just rushes out and just kind of like knocks things off the shelves as it's running towards the door. It is currently closed, but it's still heading towards it regardless.
It understands doors.
They're learning to adapt.
It starts rushing in that direction. What do you do? I'm asking you as a group, as a whole.
He scoots kind of to the side behind Jefferson, even just like, gets out of the way. He's like, no.
Wait, where is it specifically?
We'll say that it's basically in this corner over here.
Okay. So what
So it's in this corner, and it's rushing across the shelves towards the door.
Okay, but wait, so is it kind of obscured still? Like we can't really see its form?
Yeah, it's kind of hidden in the shadows. Remember the as you're coming into this room, it is dark. If you remember, the lights did go out when you were on the cam. So it's the only lights that are coming into this room are your guys' flashlights and whatever's bleeding in from the hallway.
Yeah, Lincoln is tracking his gun, trying to like stay on it. He's hesitant to fire a gun currently, so he yells out to the guys, he's like, "Everyone cover your eyes!" And he wants to throw a flashbang grenade.
Oh, nice. Alrighty. Give me
What would that be, small arms or something?
Sure. Let's say at small arms.
Fucking 9. I'm rolling terribly.
Ooh. You see, like, as you drop the flashbang, like everyone covers their eyes, and you're watching the creature, and like you just see like a silhouette of whatever it is, and you see just like these two glowing orbs, presumably its eyes, these like bright white little balls, and just kind of like going through the shelf, just speeding up. And as you drop the bomb, you see the eyes like turn towards it, and then you see the eyes like rush back and hide behind something as the flashbang goes off. And then it continues going towards the door. And as you guys just kind of look at it, you see it just kind of like scrambling at the door, just like trying to find a way to get through it. And I guess it is dark. So yeah, I forgot the door is closed. I didn't close it on the map, so I'm getting confused. But the door is closed, so it's in darkness right now. But you see something just trying to fidget with the door and trying to get open. And then as it's doing that, it continues to, it screeches, and then the three of you hear more screeches throughout the room.
Oh no. I will say, since I have my flashlight like pinned to my shoulder, can we see it better now that it's trying to get out of the door?
Yeah, you see it struggling at the door, essentially trying to brute force its way through it. And as you shine your light on it, it turns to you, and you see this turn around and screeches at you, just like at the top of its lungs. It just screeches at this high pitch, almost hurting your ears. As it just struggles, it like just screeches at you and turns back around trying to open the door. And then when it screeches, you hear that echo throughout the room as multiple sources of that seem to be kind of echoing in the
How big is it?
shelves. And then this thing is pretty small, so I will drop one there. So I'd say it's probably like about a foot tall, or something like that, and it's just kind of like screeching in the hallway at you guys, and you guys hear the screeches kind of echo throughout the room, and you just see these other figures darting at you from the shadows.
And just for the listeners, I was gonna say, could we get a description of what this creature is?
It almost looks like this little worm, but with like this alien head. Its eyes are black, except for these like the glowing white pupils that seem to illuminate in the dark, and it just has like spines and like teeth and claws kind of protruding from it in various parts of its body. It's in like as it moves, like the parts undulate and shift and move, almost as if like it's not necessarily solid. Like it just kind of seems to just like shift. Even like the spines and seeming bones tend to just kind of like move around and undulate a little bit. And these other things dart at you guys from these shadows. So I need you all to do some sort of defensive skill or maneuver as you guys are descended upon by these creatures.
This is like to avoid being attacked, not to attack in our own.
Correct. This is basically, these things are jumping at you guys.
Okay. So reflex.
We're all in trouble.
Yep.
Foley got a 6.
Lincoln got an 8.
Oh.
Captain Iron's got a 9.
Oh boy. Well, let's hope these things roll worse. Alright, we'll go for Gore first. Alright, so Gore. So you see one just kind of comes from underneath the shelf and starts just clawing at you. So I am going to roll a d6 to see where it injures you, as it has beaten your defensive abilities.
Okay.
So 3. Let's see. So your left arm. So this thing just like kind of jumps out at you, and you kind of like instinctively hold up your arm as it just latches onto your forearm and bites and seeks itself into it. So your left arm is currently lightly injured.
Okay. And does that mean I'm incapable of using my rifle now?
Not yet. I will do the rest of the attacks for everyone else, and then I'll allow you to make a retaliation. All right, next the captain. Alrighty. Alright, it gets the captain. 4. Alright, captain. So it gets you on the right arm as the thing that was struggling against the door turns around, being affected by the light, and it jumps at you. And it bites onto your arm as you try to like swat it away, and it latches on and holds on. And then...
Is that a light level injury?
Yes, a light level injury on you.
This one must roll lower than 6.
Why the music stopped?
Surprised they have a +6.
No. Combat. General chaos and damage. +6. Damn.
Oops. That was the wrong roll.
They have
you also get your right arm hurt.
Ah!
They have a +6 on murdering humans.
Great. We've got 3 light injuries in the first round of being attacked.
Blame Chris. He said I needed to be more deadly. But yeah, so you see at least three of these things just kind of jump out all at you at the same time and just start chomping it at you guys. What are you doing in retaliation or defense?
Lincoln would like to, because the one that attacked him is so close, he doesn't want to like fire an assault rifle and have it ricochet and maybe hit him. So I'd like to use my Krav Maga skill to try to knee it in its little face.
All right. Do it, baby.
Let's go. 21.
Ooh, that's
Nice.
pretty good.
Kia!
I'll have it roll in defense of itself, and you have beaten it.
Nice.
All right, so what do you do with this thing?
Yeah, I try to knee it in the face. I want to try to mess up its face or eyes or vision or anything I can,
Gotcha.
or give it a concussion, anything that would give me an advantage.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of like, as it's latching onto your arm, you kind of like just like struggle with it, and you throw it off, and it detaches from your arm, and as it's like mid-air, you like rear back and just knee it into the shelf behind you, and it screeches in seemingly what you think is pain.
I would assume.
And it backs off away from you. Captain, what do you do against your thing, if anything?
I would like to use my close combat training to try and get it off my arm.
Sounds good. Please make a roll.
Does a 14 do it?
Ooh, that's pretty good. I'm gonna roll for the creature to see if it fights you off. It rolled an 18, so it is currently still latched onto your arm, and it could potentially do more harm if you or someone else aren't able to get it off again.
Gotcha. Am I able to yell into my comms at all?
Sure. Yeah, I will allow that for sure.
I will basically kind of in our group comm, I'll pretty much call out to both Dimitri and Katrina, just letting them know that like we have a situation. Get in here get in here armed. And Katrina, rouse what was their name? Sergeant Shaw. We need backup.
On it.
That's me.
Sounds good. Alrighty. Okay, Katrina, you get that message. Dr. Ranged, what are you doing to try and get this guy off?
Okay, so Foley...
If at all.
Yeah, no, if this thing has bit him and latched on. He's and rather because he's not a strong man or knows really how to fight.
Yeah.
So his smart brain, he's just gonna turn and essentially try to like fling it off onto Jeffrey, like use Jeffries as like at least get it off of his arm, if not to have it now focus on the bleeding guy on the ground.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, so like,
Pass him off on the wounded guy to save your own skin.
Yeah. Oh boy, I have nothing here, so a natural 20.
yeah, so you just kind of like, as it's attached to your arm, you're just like, get it off, and it's just kind of shaking it around, and you see the sergeant just kind of like sees you struggling, and essentially like grabs it by what he thinks it's the neck, and like pulls it off your arm.
Yeah,
and like
Brains totally turned and brought it to him. Kind of like flinging it at him, but since he's paying attention and helping, oh good, I don't look like a bad guy.
Yeah, and he grabs it and chucks it away across the room.
Great.
And like you see it like smacks against the container.
With that, if possible, Ranged would like to try to like with a cloth or sample something either from the med kit or just him having his general supplies he does. Essentially like get a swab of a deeper cut from Jeffries first, and then
Jefferson
fucking dip out of the room.
Yeah. Okay. So you are able to do that.
Gets to the door, he'll throw it open, and then once out, just shut it again because priorities of containment.
Okay. We'll get to that action in a second. But as you are trying to head out the door, you definitely see the attention of these things immediately go to the door.
Yeah.
So Dimitri, what are you doing as you're checking the computer?
So Dimitri is trying to maintain radio connection to everybody, and he's trying to reach out to the captain, like, Captain, is everything fine? Is everything fine? And while he's doing that, he's checking the headings of the ship to see if anybody had changed anything, because he knows that this whole like power outage is completely abnormal. So he just wanted to make sure that everything was fine. At the same time, because he's a tech enthusiast, maybe just check any kind of camera feed as well to see if anything is going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you try to access the cameras, and for the most part, they all seem okay, except for the one in the starboard cargo area is obviously out. As you are checking the logs for the computer, you notice that the trajectory of the ship has been changed.
It has been altered. Okay.
It has been altered. Yes.
He's gonna relay that information, and then as he's booking it back to the starboard cargo area, and he's just gonna relay and say, someone has altered our course.
Did you want to attempt to try and change them?
I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and revert them back to normal. Yeah.
Okay. Give me first. Give me a tech roll to see if you can do so. If you can access that, because it looks like somebody's tampered it to try and keep people from noticing and or recorrecting the trajectory.
Okay. 17.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, so yeah, so you're able to, whatever did this was, use some techniques that maybe you've seen before and know a workaround, or maybe you have always been paranoid of this kind of thing and built in a way to kind of backdoor and get around that. So now give me a navigations check to see if you can correct the course back.
19. Roll
nice.
high.
19. All right. Yeah, so the hard part was basically getting around these anti-security measures. So correcting the ship itself was not too difficult. So you're able to get it back on track.
Excellent.
And so you're heading out of the room.
That's right.
Correct?
And then just relay the information to the captain, and whips out his pistol, cocks it back, and he's ready to lock and load. So
sounds good. I'll move you out to the hallway. So that way I don't have to fuck with the doors. Katrina, are you doing anything after
so
getting
I
this
will
news?
immediately turn to rouse Sergeant Shaw. Like, Sergeant, you're needed in the starboard cargo bay immediately. Come with me now. Everybody else, stay here.
And she's like, what? She just gets up immediately. She's basically like practically dressed already. Just puts on her jacket and gets her gun and follows you towards the cargo.
And then once we get into the core room, I will turn and like manually make sure that the 2 doors to the aft hatch are securely locked.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you'll do that. We'll say you have access on your tablet and can do so as you guys are heading
we'll head
in that
over
direction.
and I'll make my way to the armory because Katrina does not carry weapons other than like her wrench on her. So.
Sounds good. You run into Dimitri as you guys are running out the hallway, and you see Sergeant Shaw heading towards the cargo. Back inside. So now you guys see that Dr. Range uses a cloth or something to kind of wipe Jefferson down a little bit and then starts bolting towards the door. And as soon as he gets to the door and it opens, you see the creatures all turn towards the door, and Captain Irons, you actually see the one that's on your arm actually lets go. And they start heading towards the door. Does anyone react?
Range would try to like hop out and slam the door shut, kind of like smash that shut button as quick as possible, because containment.
Yeah.
So if he can.
Lincoln, you see the one that you threw off just kind of like then climb up through into the shelves and start heading towards the exit.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would have eyes on that one, which he kind of threw off into the corner. And as soon as it starts to bolt across the top, he says, "Oh, screw this!" And I want to take a shot with my assault rifle.
Hell yeah! Give it a shot.
Come on, baby. 24.
Ooh, very nice. Let's see if this thing can dodge. I forgot to move the camera. Ooh, it gets an 11. So yeah, as it starts running across the shelves, you just let off a couple shots and it hits it and it gets repelled backwards, and you see it screeching and squirming on the shelf. You see its form almost kind of like dissolve, like it goes from whatever this creature was to almost like a goo, and just kind of like undulates and recoils backwards on the shelf. Captain, are you doing anything?
Just try and get this bugger off my arm.
Oh, it let go.
It has let go of your arm and is heading towards the door.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, with his guard down, I will try to, I guess, just do some more close combat and just kick it into the shelves so that it can't try and make an escape.
Okay.
Yeah, another 14.
Very nice. Let's see if this one can beat it. Oh, it rolls a 16.
Nope.
So as you go to kick it, it just it like kind of hops over your leg and starts heading towards the door. And
do I get to try to shut it?
Oh yeah, give me a roll. Give me a skill roll to see if you can shut it. If you can like go through the door fast enough and shut it before it can get to it.
Computers or engineering for any bonus I might be able to use.
Seems like an engineering.
Let's say engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 9. How quick is it?
Oh no!
It rolls a 15.
Oh.
So as you try to close it, it squirms its way through the door, and you see the one that attacked you first is also going to try and get through it. Let's see if that one makes it. It rolls a 10.
Are you kidding me?
So that one gets through the door, and it basically tries to latch itself back onto you again.
You asshole!
So you see it just kind of like go through the door and then just immediately trying to crawl back up your leg. So give me a defensive roll of some kind as it tries to kind of attack.
Natural 1.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So it goes and bites you.
Just backing up against the wall.
Alrighty, a 5. That is... Your left leg is injured, so it just latches onto your leg and just like sinks its teeth into your shins.
Is this a heavy because of nat 1, or?
No, this is still lightly injured.
Okay.
It didn't... I'll only do double injuries if it crits on attacking you, which it did not do.
Gotcha.
And that's if it crits and it beats your defense skill. So if you happen to have a +6 and beat it, then you're good. Alright, so that happens, and Shaw is just like, what the fuck is that thing? And she pulls out her gun and starts shooting at this one in front of her. Dimitri, you run past Katrina and see that thing getting shot at. You see the creature just kind of trying to dodge her bullets, and it turns at you and screeches as you are getting your gun, Katrina, from the locker room. So you see this thing, Dimitri. Do you react in any way?
Yes. Considering that nobody is not attached to anything, it seems like it's safe to go ahead and fire upon. And so he's going to go ahead and try to fire on it because it has breached containment at this point.
Okay. Give me a shoot roll,
All
please.
right. So using small arms, he gets a 13.
Excellent. Ooh, it rolls a 5.
Nice.
Oh,
So you take a couple shots at this thing, and you see it like it screeches at Sergeant Shaw, and it like goes to like dash at her, and you shoot it, and it recoils and stumbles backwards. Alrighty. So back to the top. Okay, we'll say Katrina, you get your gun and are heading back towards the rest of the crew.
As
So
I'm
you're out
running,
in the
I just
hallway
go,
now.
stop shooting on my goddamn ship!
Yeah. All right. So Lincoln, you see this thing just kind of screech at you and like turn around. Like you see it like kind of look around the ship. Like it sees the door, but you're kind of obstructing its path. So you see like its eyes just kind of like dart around the room, almost as if it's looking for an alternate, way to get out of the room. And you see its eyes like trail up the wall, and it notices the closed hatches in this room, and it starts trying to scurry up the wall and trying to open one of those.
Fire as soon as I get any inkling that it's trying to breach containment like the other ones did. I'm trying to take this one down so I can go back into the ship and deal with the ones that have escaped the room and protect our passengers.
Sure. Yeah, give me a gun shoot.
Come on, 24 again, yes!
Nice. Ooh, it rolls an 18, but it's not good enough. So you see this thing just kind of scurry up to one of these like oxygen hatches, but they're shut off to keep this room sealed, and it just kind of like tries to pry it open with like these like mini like tentacles that like kind of come out and like are trying to fidget into it, and you shoot it, and it just kind of like hits the wall. Like as the bullet like pierces through it, you see it clearly make a hole through the thing and bounce off, and it just kind of like squirms and screeches, and it falls off the wall and like hits the ground, and it just kind of squirming currently on the ground, and then it just kind of stops moving.
Oh, am I under the impression that I've killed it? Because if I feel like Lincoln Gore is the kind of person that like I would stomp it with Krav Maga even after it hit the ground to make sure it's dead.
It's currently not moving, but that's totally up to you on how you want to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just want to end this individual threat's days of being a threat so that I can deal with the other ones. So I just want to be sure,
Yeah. Sure thing. So that thing on the ground, you are totally allowed to stomp on it if you want to.
Okay.
So I take it you're doing that?
Yeah, Krav Maga skill.
Hell yeah.
Stomp on its head. We can collect a sample later if we need to,
Yeah, you stomp on this thing, and it is both crunchy and mushy. It is very unsettling. It's almost like stepping onto, mud with rocks in it. and it just kind of like it makes a squishing noise, and you just kind of flatten it out.
Nice. Yeah, so he stomps it, and then he would turn. The captain is still in the room?
Yes.
Yeah, he turns to the captain and says, all right, we took one down, but the rest of them are out in the ship. We've got to protect our passengers and our crew. Let's get out there.
Let's go. And the captain would like to help Sergeant Jefferson up.
Sure thing. Yeah, he gets up, and you actually see him just kind of like looking. He almost looks a little nauseous, and he starts heading towards the door, trying to get out of this room.
Can I insight him?
Sure.
22.
Very nice. Yeah, he does not look great. Just like he looks like he has a fever or something, but he doesn't look well at all. Like it looks like he's just gone down with like a fever and or a cold.
Did he pick up his rifle?
He did not. He dropped it.
The captain will scoop up his rifle and say, "Come on, Sergeant, let's get you to the med bay. You're not looking very well."
Sounds good. Let's go. And he runs out, just kind of ignores everything that's going on, and he goes out into the hallway. And you see, as you step out of this room, you see ranged with one of the creatures attached to his leg. And you see one just kind of like with a, just seemingly recoiling from a gunshot that you heard out in the hallway.
Can I use the butt of the rifle to try and knock the creature off to the good doctor's leg?
Sure thing.
Yeah. An 18.
Very nice. You smack this thing, and as it goes, it flies across the room and hits the wall in the back.
I'll just yell to the doctors, like, get the sergeant to the med bay and close the door and treat him in your wounds. We'll handle this.
Dimitri, are you doing anything now? Like you've shot this thing once, and it seems to have kind of recoiled, but it looks like it's still intent on going somewhere. You see its eyes kind of like dart around and then settle on you, the thing that attacked
And
it.
so Dimitri is in like crisis mode as well at this point after seeing this horror, just never seeing it, never imagining as far as aliens that it could go this badly, and he just sees Jefferson just leave from the storage, and he's just like, get out of the way, get out of the way, just get out, yeah.
Jefferson?
And so he's gonna go ahead and try to, without hitting Jefferson, try to fire again. So he's gonna kind of like adjust his position. And it's gonna be another.
Go ahead and take a shot.
Hey! Got a crit on that. It's
Very
26.
nice.
Nice. Natural 20.
Yeah.
You see this thing get shot back again, like as you see it trying to like scurry up the walls, and then it gets shot and it falls down. And you see it just kind of like hit the ground and just starts squirming, and like its form just kind of turns almost like a jelly, and you see it just kind of continue to squirm, and then it slowly stops moving. And then this one getting knocked off the doctor just kind of starts scurrying away, and it goes underneath like Jefferson, like through his legs, and like heading towards Dimitri, but not at Dimitri. Like it's trying to go past. And Katrina, as you're running down the hall, you see this thing essentially come from around the corner from the direction of the cargo bay.
Yeah, I like skid to a halt and just like, what the fuck is that? And I'm not even gonna open fire on it. I just fucking turn and run. Hell no!
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just starts booking back towards the helm.
Excellent. All right, so you whoever's looking like Dimitri, you see this thing just kind of run past you, and it just like gets into the middle of the hallway and just kind of like looks around the ship, and then it just seeing Katrina run away, it starts going in her direction.
Fuck.
So this thing stopped moving, Lincoln.
Wait,
So you are free to do as you please.
wait, ranged. I didn't
Where are
get
you
the
heading?
range yet. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doctor.
Grabbing, moving around this. Well, actually, hold up. You said it's down, squirming, but slowing down, like
Yeah.
less movement.
Yes.
We gonna scoop up what we can in robot hand, and then be like moving with Jefferson, like Captain said, to the med bay.
Okay. Yeah, you go through and you kind of like touch it. You like run your hands through it, and it's like picking up jelly.
Yeah, that's
You
what
just
I
get like
figured.
a scoop
That's
of
why we
jelly.
use robot hand. Like I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna do to flesh, so let's just
Spread it on
Yeah.
toast.
big ol' handful. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
big ol' handful of alien jelly, and then moving if I can help Jefferson move more. Yeah.
Sure.
As
Yeah,
we
you guys.
make our way. I'm trying to cast that thing into med bay. What we can do, how far we can go.
Yeah.
Behind Jefferson, I will hang
Yeah.
out.
We'll say you get to about here. Lincoln, let's go back to you real quick.
Yeah, so having
So what do you-
dispatched the one that he did, and still in sort of threat assessment mode, like he's gonna back out of the room tactically and be looking at all the corners, like down his rifle for any others that he may have missed that may be hiding. But you know, if he doesn't see any more, he's gonna back. You know, he's just backing out of the room
Sure.
until he can get everybody out and shut the door and move to. Well, I guess once he gets out of the door, I don't see any more, right?
You see the one glop of jelly on the ground. It's currently doesn't seem to be moving.
The one outside the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so when he gets out of the door, he looks down the hallway and sees Sergeant Shaw and Dimitri
Yes.
and yells to them, he's like, where's the other ones? I took one down in there. This one looks like it's down. We've got to shut these things down so they don't hurt any of the passengers.
And Dimitri just points down the hallway.
To the
Oh,
left
no,
or right?
no. My left. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
Where the echoing
Right.
fuck from
Yeah.
Katrina.
He points in that direction.
right, yeah.
Okay, so to the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. To your right.
You're right,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he would, once he gets out of the door and finds that out, he would run, like start running towards the threat.
Sounds good. Yeah. You run around the corner and you see it chasing Katrina. Captain, are you going anywhere right now?
Would just be traveling with the crew, so probably, just kind of getting in line with Dimitri, Lincoln, and the sergeant.
Okay. Are you closing the door behind you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Locked in.
Before you head
Go ahead.
Before you head out and follow Lincoln, as you're closing the door, you see the lump of mush that Lincoln stomped into the ground, and you see it as you exit the room and are like almost turning away from it. You see it undulate and move. And as you turn around to open the door, you see the creature just kind of like get back up and like reform itself kind of and start running towards the door, but you close the door before it gets a chance to.
Oh my god.
And I lock it. Can I seeing this actually, can I kind of take a risky maneuver here then to close combat, like pick up the dead goo on the outside of the door here and try and toss it in the room?
Throw it in the airlock.
Before
sure.
the creature getting up can escape? Oh.
That's good too.
That is a good call, and I know this ship because it is my ship. I'm gonna do that instead.
There is an airlock behind you. Okay. Yeah, you reach down. Give me a combat roll.
Combat roll to pick up the unconscious thing?
Yeah. Yeah, like a close combat.
All right, 13. Respectable.
Ooh. Okay, almost as if anticipating you, you see the goop like shifts out of the way as you reach down to pick it up, and it starts just like rapidly like kind of reforms itself and it starts running away from you.
I will yell out to everybody that, like, they're playing dead. Don't let it get away.
Is it missing just a glob somewhere?
Maybe.
from range, grabbing some chunk of jelly.
Yeah, as you're moving, you actually see the jelly moving slightly in your hand.
Wonderful.
But yeah, so Katrina, you hear a screech as you hear like also like the tapping of these like little tinks as slowly approaching from behind very quickly.
Oh my god.
Slowly approaching very quickly.
Sorry, they will.
It's a power
It's
wall,
gone
you know?
full Pepe Le Pew.
Sorry, it's like I meant like it's like they're getting louder, like coming towards you.
Yeah, I don't even turn around. I just keep booking it to the helm and like, come on, and try to open up the door and get in and close it behind me.
They're slowly getting louder, is what I meant to say. Okay, give me an engineering roll if you can, like try and close the door before it gets to you.
That is a 20.
Ooh. Okay. You see the thing as you're running through, and like shutting the door behind you. You see it just jump and it like screeches mid-air, and as the door shuts, you just hear like a boom on the other side of the door.
And like
So
I stumble back and like fall to the ground with my back to the back of the captain's chair and just like aim the pistol at the door.
And you just hear just like something rubbing up against the door on the other side and just kind of scratching at the walls.
What the fuck is that? What did they bring on my fucking ship?
What's Officer Sylvia up to?
She's sleeping.
Totally nonplussed at this whole situation. You know?
Yeah.
Just watching us from like
Right,
a perch.
Fucking beach cat.
Officer Sylvia probably at least followed in tow with Katrina.
Allison? Oh, Katrina? Okay. Yeah, we'll say she was following Katrina the whole time. So you got Officer Sylvia next to you. Just kind of like, you stumble up to the chair, and Sylvia just kind of like hisses at the door, at the sounds that are coming through it on the other side.
Strong alien vibes right
Yeah, they're like
the engineer with the cat.
Sylvia probably had like the exact same reaction as Katrina. Just kind of like walks into the room and then sees the creature and then does that like, you know, cat like poof up to like twice its size thing and just lets out like a and then just books it with Katrina. Same nope energy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so all right, and back to you. So you were following Lincoln after you closed the door. This thing is kind of running away from you.
Yeah.
Do you change your plans at all, or are you still following Gore? You do see it just kind of like round the corner, and like it starts scurrying up the wall to avoid Shaw as she's shooting at it but missing. It turns around the corner, and you see Allison just kind of come in through the door from the aft docking bay, and she looks confused, like what the hell is going on, and sees the creature and basically just screams.
You're not supposed to be here.
Right?
Yeah, well, unlock the doors.
Scum.
So as you see, Captain, you see Allison come into the door. She sees the thing, it screeches, and it's like scrambles up the wall and just like dodging Sergeant Shaw's shots. And Allison just turns around, just basically just nopes out of this room and goes back into the engine core, and you see this thing like jump off the wall and enter the room behind her as the door closes behind her. Dr. Arranged, you and Sergeant Jefferson just ignore the creature just trying to get into the helm, and you shuffle Sergeant Jefferson into the med bay, and you see as you guys enter, he just kind of like doubles over and just like puts his hand on like the table in front of him, and you see him, he just kind of like and just kind of hurls, and you just see just chunks of viscera and blood on the floor as he pukes, and then you see him just kind of like just start shaking, and like you just hear like crunching and just like these gooey bits as you see him just kind of like then just start like shaking and rubbing himself, and he starts like ripping his clothes off. And he continues ripping.
Now's not the time.
He continues ripping, and even you see him start ripping off flesh.
Oh no!
You back off just as you see him doing this, and then you see him. He just kind of like starts shuddering, and he turns around, and he's no longer Claude Jefferson, the sergeant. He now looks something more akin to this.
Claude Jefferson.
As he turns around at you and just kind of.
Well, this will be fun to pick up on.
It turned into a zombie so fast.
Oh god, it's so aggressive.